Yeah.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Port Royal's public hearing. Also, too, we have a council workshop tonight. This is our first meetings of the year, so Happy New Year to everybody. Excited to get 2026 started. So tonight up first at 6:30, we do have our public hearing. We've called that meeting to order. Purpose of that is to discuss ordinance 2025-20, 21, and 22. Ordinance 20 is an ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 2, Article 5, Division 2, Public Records Program, Section 2-260 and 2-261 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Port Royal, South Carolina, to repeal references to the town's records management and to assign FOIA responsibilities to the town clerk and police department. Is there anyone that would like to be heard on this? No. We'll talk about it when we get to the workshop bit. Okay. Up next is 2025-21, ordinance to authorize the town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate construction of sidewalks within the town described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, Map 10, Parcel 158, better known as 1008A, 12th Street, 30 feet of sidewalks. Anyone wish to be heard on the sidewalks? Okay. Up next is 2025-22, an ordinance to authorize town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate construction of sidewalks within the town described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, Map 10, Parcel 370, better known as 1008D, 12th Street, another 30 feet right beside it. Anyone wish to be heard on this? Hearing none, we will close our public hearing and move into our council workshop. First meeting of the year done. Great job, guys. Yeah. Up next is our council workshop. We've got a few presentations that are we always look forward to. These are all great things. Can't wait to talk about them. Up first, Mardi Gras Parade. Miss Nancy Plank from the great OVA, Old Village Association. Come on down. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Mayor, Council, Van, I'm here tonight to remind you we're a month away. February 7th is our annual Mardi Gras Parade. Lineup will begin on Paris Avenue at 3 o'clock by the Port Royal Post Office. Kickoff will start at 4 o'clock. We will do the same route that we have done in the past, concluding at Shellring with an after party. I am very pleased to tell you that this year, not only do we have one band, school band, we have two school bands participating this year in the parade. Wow. So I'm looking for a big parade, and I need you to get the word out, to get your friends, relatives to come in. We're going to be posting on our Facebook page the applications. Applications will also be here at the town hall. After the parade is concluded at Shellring, we will be doing a battle of the bands between Battery Creek and Whale Branch. This is the first we've ever done, so I'm really excited about that. After the battle is over, there will be food trucks, face painting, music for everybody involved. I want to ask you a favor. I would appreciate if the mayor and the council would agree to be the judges for the Battle of the Bands.
Ooh, that's a tough spot. I mean, I've got no problem doing it. We'll have to break some hearts. How do y'all feel?
I won't be here, unfortunately.
Okay.
What's that date again?
7th.
Feb. 7. Okay.
So we're going to need some judges, but I figured I'd come to you guys first.
Yeah. So with this parade, because I know like the Christmas golf cart, people just show up. But this one, they do need to.
To register,
register.
yes.
Okay, so
And like
we'll
I
make
said,
that-
it'll be on our
that
Facebook
aware.
page.
Okay.
Applications will be here in the town hall as well.
Okay.
Press releases will be going out this week. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me or Brooke, and we'll be more than happy to tell you everything we need to know for this. We're really looking forward to this one, and I'm very excited about the Battle of the Bands.
Because you said they're doing 2 songs each?
They're doing 4 songs each.
4 songs each, okay, gotcha. All right. Yeah.
And then I have Jesse Gavigan coming. He's going to be our MC for the
Okay.
evening.
That's gonna be great.
And then if you guys will judge, you can help Jesse pick the winner.
I'm only gonna imagine.
We're going to give the winner a trophy. It's on order right now, so we're really looking forward to this event.
I'm a maybe. I need to check a couple of things.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
I
I mean,
imagine they're gonna.
the more
get
the
into it.
merrier. I mean, if all of you can judge, I'd love it. If not, a couple, that's fine. But I just need some judges, and I wanted to come to you guys first.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll try and get out as much information as we can. I'd love to see it be as big, and have people kind of go all out, just like they do with the Christmas parade.
Right.
Really deck out some floats and some golf carts and really spruce it up. Do it
Sounds
big.
good. And if
Yeah.
you need anything, just give me a holler, and I'll help you out wherever I can.
Great. Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you. Thank you
Looking
so
forward to
much
it.
for
All
doing
right.
it.
Yeah. That's been a great addition when you started that up, so thank you. Up next, presentation, Police Department, Deputy Chief.
We're gonna put that off.
Okay, I got you. All right, perfect. Well, moving right along, up next, Beaufort Jasper Housing Trust.
We have to follow Mardi Gras.
I know.
That's cruel and unusual, I think, but we'll do it. I don't know if you all, your handouts are just easier sometimes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Nice to see you all. Thanks for.
Happy New Year.
Making time for us on the old agenda.
Thanks.
Of course, anytime.
So, for those of you that I haven't met, I'm Christine Raich. I'm a resident here of Port Royal. I'm a volunteer. I'm your representative on the Beaufort Jasper Housing Trust. And I'm joined today by Claude Hicks, who is our executive director over at the Housing Trust. And he'll come up and share a little bit more about his background and tell you a little bit about what they've been doing most recently. So I was appointed by you in the second quarter of last year and joined the board officially in the third quarter, just timing-wise. I was able to meet with about half of you over the last couple of months, and thank you for those of you that were able to make time for that. Really, what I was hoping to gather is just, what are your thoughts about workforce and affordable housing? How do you think about it in Port Royal? What are the issues? Because I wanted to be a good representative of what you all were looking for on the board. And so in those discussions, you raised a couple of questions, which I thought were great. One was sort of, what's the Housing Trust been doing? There was a period of time where Port Royal didn't have a representative, so it kind of makes sense that there was a little bit of gap there in terms of understanding. And then you had questions about funding, how much funds has Port Royal already given to the Housing Trust and how much is the annual contribution? So there were a couple of questions there. And then really a lot of questions around, well, where are we going? Like, what is the Housing Trust doing? And so I thought Claude would be able to share a little bit more about, since he's joined the Housing Trust, he came in April of '24. He's been here for about 18 months. In that time, he's committed or dispersed with the Housing Trust over $3 million, and I thought you might be interested in kind of knowing how they're spending those dollars, where are they going, as they think programmatically about trying to solve this really big, difficult problem. What are the things, the tangible things that are happening right now that are underway in the Housing Trust? So Claude's going to come up and share a little bit more about his background and then talk to you about what's been happening. And then, of course, at the end, I have kind of like an ask/thoughts for future. And really, as you get into the 26 planning cycle for 27, that's when I'm hoping to get just kind of in front of you as you think about budgeting for the 2027 year. So, Claude, without further ado.
Thanks, Christine. It's good to see everybody.
Good to see you again.
I won't bore you with my background. I've spent 30 years in this business, up and down the East Coast, and done about $3 billion in equity in those projects. Last year, or the last time that I came to talk to you, we were talking about the moratorium and its impact and perhaps what Port Royal could do and how it could look at that issue. Today, we wanted to walk through kind of what we've been doing, what we look at, what we're going to do in the future. As Christine said, we have dispersed over $3 million, and we have also provided some oversight. The county put $600,000 into CCDC for the purchase of 24 townhomes in the unincorporated areas of Beaufort County. They asked us to provide oversight for that money. They asked us also to provide backup for that money to make sure that CCDC did what they said they were going to do with those funds. We have followed our three-platform process. We're looking at development, we're looking at home repair, and we're looking at first-time home buyers. By far, the biggest demand that we have had is in home repair. It's all over the county. Both Beaufort and Jasper suffer from the same issues, the inability to find funding, especially for people who are earning below 60% of AMI. We looked at a number of things that we could put our money into with respect to how do we look at home repair. One of the things that we have done is we partnered with the City of Beaufort to establish their very first home building fund. We put up $100,000. They put up $150,000. We are going through the process right now of identifying eligible houses and going ahead and dispersing that money to get those homes repaired. It has been a difficult process, as you can imagine, trying to build a program from scratch, but also trying to figure out what the rules are. And each municipality has different rules. Hilton Head has asked us to help them on their home repair program. They have a totally different set of rules than Beaufort has. One of the things that we have done, and it has created a lot of conversation, is we thought we would put together home builders, contractors, entities that are building in the Beaufort area, in the Jasper County area as well. And we put together a group that met called Blueprint for Change. We asked them, what is it that municipalities can do to offset some of the challenges? You can imagine over 3 hours, they gave us every kind of issue that you could possibly think of. 2 Beaufort County council people were sitting in the audience in that meeting. After the meeting was over, they said, we want this for elected officials only. We are sure that those officials don't know what's going on with respect to housing. Plan this and do it in 3 weeks. We did it in 3 weeks for elected officials only, and we challenged them to come up with 2 changes within the next 6 months that could impact housing, getting it out of the ground faster, eliminating red tape, eliminating regulatory issues. So Beaufort County has taken on that challenge, and hopefully by July they will have 2 things that they're going to propose that we can do to help eliminate some of the red tape. Also, in addition to everything else that we have been doing, and remember that we have a staff of 2 plus 2 part-time people, we were asked by a councilman from Bluffton to put together a central website where someone could go on and find where workforce and affordable housing is in Beaufort and Jasper County. That's 95% done. We hope to roll that out in the second quarter. So with all of that, Christine has come to us and said, I want to talk about perhaps establishing a home repair fund for Port Royal. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. We fully support that. We've told her we would be in, just like we've been in on everybody else. But you will have a different set of rules if you choose to do it than everybody else has. So with that, I'll let Christine come up and talk about specifically what she's talked with you about and what we might look for going forward to the future.
Thanks, Doug. And again, this is really a plea for a future earmark. So we hash out all of the details if you all, as you're mapping out budgetary ideas for '27, if this hits the list, then we'd come back with a lot more specifics. But in concept, it's taking the City of Beaufort program and applying it here with some tweaks. So the City of Beaufort program I've listed out here, their fund per house is $50,000 per home, up to $50,000. In discussions with some of you, we felt like that felt like a lot. And so the idea might be up to $20,000. So, maybe scaling it just a little bit lower for our needs here. Keeping that income limit at 80% of average median income, which is that family of 4 at $88,000. So really targeting the police, the school teachers, the techs, the medical people, that kind of workforce housing is really what we're after as well. So that's the idea. I also wanted to make you all aware that, in conversations with Habitat for Humanity, they have funds, they've been doing repairs in Port Royal, and they have funds available for repair in Port Royal as well. Their program is, they have their own set of rules, of course. Everybody's got different rules. They only do exterior. And of course, they have, income limits, they have certain requirements as well. And for some homeowners, there's also cost sharing, which is a little bit different than the housing trust. So the idea would be, hey, these two programs could kind of work in concert with one another. And, as you think about your constituents, if you have folks out there that have a need, there may be funds available right now through Habitat. And if we were able to stand up the repair program through the Housing Trust, then there would be those complementary funds available as well. So kind of between the two programs, there would be a lot of area that we would be able to repair in someone's home, basically. So that's the concept for home repair. That's my pitch for, as you're mapping out 2026 budgeting for 27, think about what we could do there. And the idea is that there's, in most other of the programs that they've done, is a matching program. So, we put up so much money as Port Royal, and they match with so much as well. So that is what Bluffton has been doing, Hilton Head, Beaufort. So I'm trying to get Port Royal in on that action as well. And then my other long-term ask/thought is, if we get to the stage with Safe Harbor and there's a developer that comes in and is ready to do residential, again, this might be years away, who knows, but maybe having conversation there about some kind of set aside for a portion that would be, again, some kind of affordable workforce housing percentage, probably 10 to 15%, something modest there, but something in the future, just putting it out there.
Great.
So questions for me or for Claude about repair or thoughts you have about workforce housing in Port Royal?
Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah. And you may have said this and I just didn't hear it, but is Port Royal money only used in Port Royal?
Well, the idea of the repair program, you mean?
Right.
That's how it would work, is
Okay.
yes, we would only.
So it's open to Port Royal residents with this criteria?
That's correct.
But it wouldn't go south of the Broad, it wouldn't go, but it's just the money that we contribute would stay here.
That's right, yeah. Every jurisdiction is kind of doing their own thing, and you have to be, like for the city of Beaufort, you have to be in the city of Beaufort.
Roger that.
So do they
Yeah.
dictate their percentage or contribution, or is it equally divided across the county?
Sorry, Daryl,
See,
help me
you're
understand.
asking
the question.
Port Royal for a contribution of 35,000. Is that across the county, or does
Every-
it vary?
Yeah, every municipality is kind
They
of
set
doing
their
their own
own.
thing.
Okay,
So
okay.
Beaufort did, what was it, $100,000 or $150,000? Bluffton was 100, does that sound right? Hilton Head, they're still working on, but that was
That was big. It was
big,
500,000.
500, yeah. So everybody's a little bit different. The
Okay.
35 would be on the smaller end, but, that's in proportion.
So it would be, all of the programs have a requirement that you prove that you own the home, that you prove that you live within city limits.
Right.
You prove your income. And then we look at the application from the perspective of what needs to be done. Believe me, we have had plenty of people who have walked in and said, I need a new kitchen, can you do that? No, that's not what we're doing.
Trying to put a hot tub in the back.
We had one person in this round ask if we could put an addition onto her home, and that's not what we're talking about. We're
Right,
talking
it's
about
defined in.
low-income people who need the repairs but have no access and no ability to get the money to do them.
Yeah, I was gonna guess, what's kind of, well, how's it going in Beaufort? Has that program started?
It has started, it
Okay.
took a while for us because we have something there that you
You need
don't
some
have
like you said.
very
Yeah.
much of.
Can you step, sorry.
Come on up, Claude.
The people at home want to see you.
We can share.
Yeah, yeah.
My wife in Pennsylvania is watching to make sure that I'm actually.
There
going
we
to
go.
this
He's here.
One of the things that is important is in Beaufort, we have the heirs property issue that you're probably not going to have that much of here, not to the same extent. But what we did was we put together the program. We met with the city to make sure that they were okay with it. We had workshops that were open to everyone to see if they qualified, to see what it was about, but also to build trust. When you're talking about going into someone's home, you want to make sure that there's a trust level there between us and them. We hired a very experienced construction manager who's in charge of verifying the repairs and also making sure that on a price perspective, we're meeting what the cap is. We opened the application up. We had about 5 times more applications than we have funds.
Okay. I was going to ask how the interest was, so,
It was first come, first served.
yeah.
We had people standing at the city, waiting for the doors to open. We put the application in hard copy and we put it on the web. You could put your application in either way, but it was done on a first come, first served basis.
And the funds for Beaufort were also originally allocated by district within Beaufort.
Okay.
So we divided
Another,
Beaufort up into 5 districts. We received applications from 2 of the districts. And what that showed us was that the other 3,
okay.
on an income basis, their income was too high. But we had a lot of kind of typical, what we expected was women who were widowed, no husband there, no ability to repair anything, and the repairs had gotten worse over time. Some of them were so big that we recommended that they go through our state process. Our state process allows for bigger dollars, allows for more repairs, but for the most part, all the applications were within the cap.
So are your pool of contractors that are doing the work, are they local
Yes.
contractors? And what's the selection process there? Is it like a Port Royal contractor is going to be doing work in Port Royal, or?
That's up to you. So Beaufort said they were not opposed to outside contractors as long as they remained in Beaufort County.
Okay.
But they also knew the number of contractors in the city of Beaufort was pretty small. And most of these repairs are roofs, HVAC, electrical. We have had a big discussion about foundations, because in the city of Beaufort, a lot of the homes were very much past the 50-year age point. So foundations were an issue. At first, we said we weren't going to do the foundations, and then council asked us specifically to include those. So we have had 2 houses that are being inspected currently that have foundation issues. So we expect to start repairing within the next 60 days. We expect to be fully complete with all the repairs within probably the next 120 days, because most of the repairs are a roof. Some contractors can come in and blow a roof out in a day. They can put an HVAC system in within 3 days. So it's been a very, very good success, to the point where we had to create a waiting list for people who were eligible, but the money was gone by the time we got through the first 6 people.
Yes, this batch of, so 250 is what the city did. About how many people did that? How many homes did that serve?
That's going to be probably 5 or 6 homes, because it's a $50,000 cap.
Okay, gotcha. So I guess that's what I was asking is, so then so the process, somebody fills out an application, they come see you, is it just, I need a new roof, and then you send out somebody to get the
Yes.
estimate, or do they have to show up with their own estimate and be
No.
like, hey, the roof's 6,000, I can't do it?
No.
Okay,
No.
so they come in and just, I haven't seen the application, so I'm guessing it just kind of lists
Yes.
needs, and
Yes.
then y'all take it from there?
Yes.
Okay.
And
If you're doing a roof and you identify other significant structural issues, because you can't put a roof on a,
rotten house.
yeah,
so the reason that they put the cap so high at 50,000 was
For that.
just for that. You know, you just take the shingles off and you've got rotten plywood or joist issues. It also really, with respect to flooring, if there's a sinking foundation, you're gonna have flooring issues. So, you know, what if no need to repair the floor if the foundation underneath it is not good. We hope that this will be included in next year's City of Beaufort budget. The city of Hilton Head has come to, or town of Hilton Head, excuse me, has come to us to start discussions about us taking over their home repair program. Those are in the initial stages of discussion, but they have a very different outlook. If there's a tree down that insurance won't take off, sitting in the yard, that qualifies under their program. A lot of their water and sewer issues qualify under that program. Because they have their own system. So a lot of replacement of septic tanks, those types of things. So it varies from city to city, municipality to municipality.
Great. And you said it's basically roofs,
It is
HVACs.
roofs, HVAC, electrical,
Okay.
windows and doors,
Plumbing.
plumbing too.
And of course, you have accessibility improvements, that's like ramps and so forth.
Yes. We haven't been really asked to do a lot of accessibility issues. And I think primarily it's because once you start down that path, you can do a ramp, but then if someone's in a wheelchair, you've got doorways, you've got
Wide
kitchen
doors,
heights, you've got you've got switch lights, you've got all of those things that have to be lowered. So it's a big challenge, but we just haven't had that many.
Requests for that.
We've had mostly people who have been sitting in their house for a couple of decades and without the ability to repair anything. We had one lady actually call us and say, I'm preparing my application, but it's raining and there's a hole in my roof and my application is wet. Can I get another application and start over again?
Can people match? Can they, if they have the ability to, hey, I'm gonna put $100 with this. You know, you got the contractor, you're getting $1,000 and I'm gonna put $500 with it or something,
So we have had that already.
right?
Primarily, people have said, I can pay for my own foundation and I can pay for it over time if you can take care of the roof, the windows, and the doors. So we'll look at anything. I want to make a really important point that the trust wanted to be totally transparent in this. So with respect to verifying income, we do that through LOCOG, through a third party, because we didn't want to be accused of favoring one person or another. With respect to who owns the property, we pay for a title search done in Beaufort, law firm there, so that, again, if there's any question, a lawyer has done this, and we're not lawyers, so we don't want to get caught up in that. So,
Those lawyers.
Good job. Lucky for you. Lucky for you.
so we have been successful in putting it together, and getting it out there, and getting applications in. What we have not been able to do is to provide enough money for everybody who came through the door.
Right.
So they go on the wait list, and I don't know whether city council is going to give us matching funds again. We have already committed and said, if you'll do it, we'll do it again because it's been successful.
Yeah. Well, it's a very noble cause. Thank you for what you're doing. And thank you for meeting with us.
Thanks for listening.
Sure, absolutely.
And can we just talk really quickly logistics?
Sure.
Because I'm trying to align two different budgetary cycles, which is sort of like the holy grail. Remind us again your timeline, and then I'll ask Claude to remind us of the Housing Trust timeline.
So we have our retreat in February where this will be discussed, and that's kind of where we do set priorities, plans, and policy for the year. We start having budget talks May,
Yeah.
June, and it's got to be done. We have 3 readings for that, and it's got, what, July 1st? So that's it. That's our fiscal July to July. So yeah, so we'll have retreat in February, talking about, like I said, priorities, and this will come up, of course, and then budget is discussed May, June, and finalized before July 1st.
So all you will need to do is make a request of the trust that says, we have met, we're going to do this, and this is what we're requesting of you. We'll take it to the next committee meeting, and then beyond that, we'll take it to the board of directors the following month. So it's a very quick process for us.
Yeah.
You just need to tell us what you guys have decided you would like to do.
Well, great. I mean, this is, like you said, very noble cause, probably makes a definite positive impact in people's lives, so you can see, and thank you to Christine for
Just
bringing this to us.
as noted on the slide, our contribution is annually 35 grand. This will be an additional 35 grand. Just want to clarify.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And so,
Thank you.
but like I said, thanks for bringing this to us before the retreat, giving us a little runway to talk about it and discuss it, so thank y'all.
And
good
just
to see
curious, is the county thinking about a program?
So, as you know, we have a new deputy county manager, whatever they're called. She's from Greenville, and she has put that out in the ozone. The current chair and the vice chair have both asked me about, could we do that? We certainly could, but it would be huge. It would probably take us 6 months just to put together the logistics to it, but that's under consideration.
Okay.
That's probably where the most need would be those unincorporated areas, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much,
Thank you.
that's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's it for presentations. Up next, council briefing. Mr. Van Willis.
All right. One sec. So we have started to submit the process, or submit the application for the Drayton and Battery Park Roads speed limit reductions and the speed humps. So we'll keep you abreast of any progress made.
Is that a two at one time thing, or is
Yes,
that, you gotta get- okay.
we're submitting everything at one time.
Gotcha. I didn't know if it was, gotta get it reduced, then come back.
Well, yeah, I think we have to get the reduction in order to put the speed.
But hopefully they
Hump
approve
in.
it, you could lower the speed for one day and do a speed hump.
Correct.
thing. Gotcha, okay.
Submitted tomorrow.
Okay, great,
Formally.
perfect.
All right.
I know we were talking about, this, of course, that for a while also. And we had talked about some additional areas that may warrant some speed humps and about probably recycling some of those other humps and so forth.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I got another request today
Okay.
for Robinson. Also because everyone's cutting through there, and there's a subdivision that I'm told that kids are driving through that subdivision, and they're coming down Casablanca and going down Robinson, and they're requesting, on Robinson, because we have two on Casablanca.
Right.
But nothing on Robinson.
Okay.
And so that was a request also. And of course, it was all positive and supportive of what the job the council is doing, but that was the only request that they had.
Gotcha.
But they,
Yeah, I think we've got a list of the other places we're thinking about putting them, so we can look
I
at
think I'll
Robinson
mention
also.
it.
And that's a DOT one, so,
right, and that's exactly that's what I shared, and I talked about the Drayton situation, the Battery Park and so forth, and that's the DOT road and so forth, and there's certain
Sure.
criteria that has to be met.
definitely look at that one. Villages, as I sent out an email a few weeks ago letting you guys know that we did receive the additional funding for that project. We did have the pre-construction meeting with the selected contractor. They have been provided with the notice to proceed, and we have an obligation to have that project completed by, I think it's June, end of May. We anticipate May 20. This is it's a pretty good window to get it done, but they understand that those dollars have to be expended in order for us to keep that funding in place. So they've been made aware of that. We're going to plug through that. We will, as part of that process, have to do some public information, some door hanging. We went back and forth as to whether we shut down that alleyway completely
Yeah.
while that work's being done. They thought they may be able to do it in kind of stages to allow people in and out. Our concern is if they don't get out, then they're stuck in there while the construction's going on and they need to get out. So we may have to shut those alleys down to any parking while all this work is being done.
Yeah, especially like, it was kind of like with Sands Beach, if we want to get this quicker,
Yes.
it's easier to shut it down, let them go full.
Right.
Let them go, all out on it.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of the decision we were pushing them to make. They thought they could maybe massage it a little bit, and I said, I prefer quick and have people have an understanding, deal with the issues up front, because if you don't, you're going to be dealing with them daily for the person that wasn't aware and didn't get the car out or wants to get the car in. And so I think we kind of cleared that one up, but,
We just communicate that to everybody. It's an inconvenience, but temporary
Yeah.
for
Like the city of
the greater.
yeah. And we'll be staging probably the materials adjacent to the building and the gravel lot. So proximity is important, so that's where we'll go with that one. Still kind of pushing forward with Casablanca, that one is probably going to end up being a CDBG a little bit further down the lane, but we'll have that one teed up. Four Waters is working. I'm moving on to Paris Avenue Streetscape CDBG. We're working on the notice to proceed. I think we have a meeting this week to discuss the end of the week, the pavers.
Yes.
Yeah, so for kind of the mosaic that will be out in front of the Cypress wetlands. That one is also going to be a challenge logistically with traffic. We're going to have to shut down lanes when we do that work. And we've been working with the adjacent businesses, making them aware of that. There will be a traffic control program in place. It will be difficult, but it's work that's got to be done, and also facing not as strenuous timelines, but still has to be done. And we want that window to be tight so that we can get that work completed and get people back to normal as soon as we can.
Well, thank y'all for, like you said, just over-communicating with the businesses right around there, because, yeah, like you said, we had the breakfast, that was Chef Frank's
Yes.
big concern. He was like, when are you going to start that? I need to know that, so
Yeah,
thank y'all.
we get it. Nothing really new on the sanitary sewer Rebo Road master plan. I've just kind of kept that in there just for y'all to keep it fresh in mind. Marshy Park, we did get the award for the $300,000 for that.
We should have brought, there was a letter from the governor's office congratulating us for that award, so
Yeah.
I'll bring that to next time.
We have one other fund that could provide the balance of the funding for that park, which would be great. Haven't heard anything back on that. And if we are awarded that, and as I mentioned last time, you can use the CDBG as the match for that program. So our out-of-pocket would be substantially lower to get the entire project done. So pretty excited about that one.
Do you see, what's kind of your thoughts on next steps for that, or timeline on that, or? Not trying to load it up, because we just talked about.
We
four
have
other
to be,
projects.
in order not to jeopardize the funding of the other grant, we can't really start work until we know. We should know something definitive. And then, obviously, we're going to set up the timeline for construction to, one, fit the parameters of the CDBG funding, but as well as the other funding. So we're going to have to mesh those two programs together, construction-wise. I don't want to give up $400,000 to get the project started 2 months earlier than we should have. So we'll probably need to wait a little bit to see what happens with that. Now, I think when I talked to that funding source, I think they had, let's say, $15 million in funding, but there was $25 million in requests. So, and that's all over the state of South Carolina. So we have a good chance of getting some money, but
Yeah.
we don't know for sure.
Okay.
But if we don't get that funding, we'll push forward sooner with the CDBG and get it
The
rolling.
CBD money's
Yes.
not going anywhere.
Yep. Michael's still working on the causeway shower and rinse-off area design. We've been really focused on the villages drainage project and a few of the others. I should have included this here. Yep, splash pad is in here. You've probably seen a lot of the sidewalk work going on, a little traffic control in that area. Bids are due January 21st, so we'll keep you guys. There'll probably be a little bit more information on this one in the February meeting as to where that stands. Database is complete, STR, short-term rental and development permit, GIS database is completed. Reviewing it, and like I said, I do want to stand that up really soon so that the public and council can go to that, our website, and press a button and see what the status is on projects. I think it's pretty important, so we'll be pushing the engineering firm on that as well, because they're the one that's helping stand that up.
Will that just be a link on the website, I guess, or will that be?
Well, there'll be a button, you'll go down development projects,
Oh,
and-
great.
or maybe it might be map-driven. I'm really not sure if they click on the map on a, whatever the asterisk is, and, all right, this is the village's drainage project, and this is the engineering schematic that you can look at, that sort of
But the
information.
launch page, it will probably launch from our website.
Yes, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cypress wetlands, obviously, the first phase is completed, working on a second phase of coordination, and we've got some grants submitted for that also. We provided Scott with the foundation, all the background information he needed to submit that, budgets, you name it, we had to include it. So that's moving forward. kind of going hand in hand with the Spanish Moss Trail. We're still working on that. The final phase, I think we heard this week that the Hawk Signal,
This week or next week, they'll start installing the Hawk Signal.
yeah. And
That'll
so
be good. We've
that's
had-
one end of it, and obviously we'll, on the other end of it, where I mentioned the Ritter Circle.
And
piece,
just to
we'll get that done.
reiterate to anyone listening, it's not open. I get people calling me like saying, I just saw a family trying to cross, I just saw kids trying to cross it. It's like,
Crossing on bicycles
stop, yeah, so.
at busy hours of the day.
Have they given us a tentative open date?
I don't think they mentioned anything, did they?
No.
No, nothing yet.
But then I went by, because, I mean, literally, there are barriers, there is tape, there are signs. It's like, you could not say, do not cross any more than it says. So people are just going around it, which, you know, I guess that's what they're gonna do. But I got a couple calls from people being like, I just saw somebody get hit, trying to cross. It's like,
I do have a tentative
Okay.
completion for the construction for March 30th.
Then really nothing new in Naval Hospital sidewalk. I'm trying to get an answer on them when they're gonna remove the silt fencing, so that we can do a ribbon cutting on that sidewalk piece. So,
why say it like that?
yeah.
Not another 5 years, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. So we may,
The
we may
silt
remove
fence
it, we'll see. And, yeah, I wanted to give Marcy an opportunity here. I don't put you on the spot, but you provided us with some information. I don't know if you wanted to give them an update on what you guys are up to with the golf cart
Sure.
tours.
The visitor center.
Visitor Center. So,
This is great.
thanks. So, we were asked to see if we could get some volunteers to do a golf cart tour for the cruise ship. We're calling them cruisers, people on the cruise ship. And so, we've been kind of looking through how we could do that, and we want to start slow. So we were thinking the cruise ships are going to come back in the 1st of February, so we have to be ready. And we're going to start slow with one cart in February, and we were thinking about using the town cart, and then work our way up so that we know what we're doing. The tour itself would be based on history, different points, and then we would have one of the board members or one of the docents talk to, the different historic points. And then at the end, we would end the tour at Mrs. B's, and then they would have the option to get out, and we have a map of all the different shops and restaurants from Mrs. B's down, and they could stop along and shop and do whatever they want to do. Or we can take them to Shell Ring, and we were going to work with Nick to come up with some kind of entertainment for them, and then they could walk back to the cruise ship from there, or they can just go back to the cruise ship. The only issue that we're having is the insurance. The cruise ship is saying that they need to be, I'm not an insurance expert, but they need to be on the golf cart insurance as one of the insurers, like they would be paid out if they got sued. So we've been talking to Van about it, and he suggested that I call the Beaufort Golf Cart, and I have not yet done that. But I did contact my insurance company, and they're looking into what that means. And so we're trying to work through that.
Okay.
The cruise company will be sending somebody in January to take the tour to see if we're passed. So we're working with the director on that. So do you have any questions?
That's great.
No, so you said it's about a 2-hour tour. I just want to say thank y'all for this because,
2 hours.
yeah, because just like they said with Beaufort Jasper Housing Trust, we've never done anything like this before. I mean, cruise ships are pretty new to Port Royal. Golf cart tours pretty new. This is a brand new. We don't have a map, no pun intended, to go off of. So we're really just kind of figuring this out. So thank y'all for stepping up, and Ben for putting this together. And,
Yeah,
I mean,
Ben
I know
put it-
this is probably taking a
Ben-
lot of time to figure out this tour and figure out the stops.
Yeah, Ben spent a lot of time on putting this together.
Well, there's that one.
We don't have the map.
Oh, you just got this one. Well, there you go, pass that one around.
We
So,
don't have the map.
I'm guessing at some point that will be just a trifold and not two-fold.
Yeah, I just brought one because you
Not
were
two
asking
papers.
about it today.
Gotcha, okay, so that's
yeah,
what it'll
sorry.
look, that'll what it'll look like finalized. This is
Well,
the
it's not
prototype.
finalized, it's a draft, but I thought so Ben created a map that we have in the visitor
cool is that?
center
That's the
at,
tour around town.
at the museum. And it's a big map of the village of Port Royal with all the different businesses pointed out and it's stars on them and everything. And so when somebody comes into the museum, they're wanting to know what to do in Port Royal. And so we can say, oh, right here is this, right here is this. And so what we'll do is we're going to take that map and put it into another trifold, and so that people can go about their way and go down to the sands and know how to get there. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, like I said, I can just tell that takes a lot of work, and you guys are all volunteers, and so thank you all for stepping up
Yep,
and
no
taking the
problem.
reins on
Great
that. And
job.
I think you're right. It's, again, since we've never done this before, and just to reiterate, I mean, the whole theme behind this is next year, there's gonna be 60 stops. I mean, next year, we're in the year. 60 cruise ships are gonna stop 60 times throughout the year in Port Royal. And it's, are we gonna capitalize on that, or are we just gonna let it go, just, sail on by? So, thank y'all for stepping up, and I think it's gonna be great. Again, we are creating something out of nothing, so there's kinks, we gotta figure out solutions to problems. I know we can do that. Again, we have, we've got a month to work that out, but yeah, like I said, I mean, you can tell there's a lot of work has already gone into this, so, thank y'all.
yeah, well, one of the other things is we don't know how long you can ask volunteers to do something like this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna,
Maybe they'll get some tips, they'll start to get, yeah.
we're gonna do this for a year and evaluate.
Yeah.
And then maybe, this will spur up a company.
Yeah,
of some
and
kind.
exactly, and who knows where we are next year with, where,
Because you'll need something for safe harbor, because, you got boats coming in and they
Yep.
want a shuttle to,
well, thank y'all for kind of taking it on this year.
Okay.
And, taking kind of creating this framework, because,
Great
like I said,
job.
that's,
thanks.
you can see,
Thanks.
again, a lot of work's gone into it.
Thank you, Marcy.
Thank you.
Marcy.
Yeah, because I know we all got calls about watching those tour buses leave and go, whoa, what is going on here? So we're trying to solve that problem, so thank y'all. Back to the briefing, Mr. Van?
Sure. I just have Safe Harbor on here, no real updates at this point, other than, we've sent out invitations for the kind of master planning effort for that property between 12th and 10th that involves all the businesses and the immediately impacted property owners that, in the Spanish Moss Trail, to discuss how to cohesively put a plan together that addresses parking, the trail, and other related issues.
Are we starting to get, who do we have working on the prices of public infrastructure for potential?
Michael's working on that right now.
Michael's working on that,
Yeah,
okay.
we had a meeting before Christmas, and he's got his marching orders.
To get
Yes,
prices for the list that we got him, okay,
exactly.
all right.
And then
Anything
something that, the next item is kind of more for discussion than me briefing y'all is e-bikes. That's becoming an issue across the country, to be quite honest with you. There are some examples that were provided in town of Mount Pleasant, an ordinance that I included in your folders. And I just want to get some feedback from y'all, like how you would kind of want to move this forward. We can put together a draft of e-bike use, sidewalks, limitations. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of this. I've got a Daredevil in my neighborhood right now. That
Are
loves
bikes
the
allowed
speed.
on sidewalks?
It depends. Some places they are.
Okay.
Like if you got a kid, he's gonna ride on the sidewalk.
Yeah, right, a kid with the
He's not-
training wheels is gonna be like, get in the road, I mean. like-
Yeah, exactly. Think about, so yeah, it's becoming because these things are starting to proliferate everywhere.
It's becoming an issue on the Spanish Moss Trail also where the sign's posted and no motorized vehicles on there and folks are ripping down the Spanish Moss Trail on it now too.
Yeah, and we had an incident where somebody was actually, not here, was struck by somebody riding one of those, and the guy ended up dying. because of the speed of the bike, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, because they're over 15 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, knock somebody down on the concrete. Well, I mean, just kind of talking out loud, I mean, safety is paramount to me, you know? I mean, we've got to keep people safe when they're walking around. However, there is a fine line of becoming too
Yeah.
burdensome and just kind of, no bikes, no. I mean, if they're riding on the road, is that a problem? I mean, that's where scooters are, and, I mean, the road's kind of for that, right? So,
Well, we're promoting walkability in our town
Yeah.
also, and we certainly don't want e-bikes on the sidewalks.
yeah. So I think that's a
What
big, that's
what
a
does
big difference.
enforceability look like, chief? I mean, with something like that, does it become something that's just kind of passive, or do departments usually take a pretty aggressive stance towards that stuff? 'Cause, I mean, I know it's gonna take some man-hours to get people to appreciate that.
Yeah, honestly, we really haven't had a problem with it this year, but it's the future. It's coming, especially right after Christmas. Then you see all the e-bikes, you see the electric motorcycles, things like that. So it could definitely potentially be a problem. So as a police department, I would recommend we look at it, get something drafted, give it to the town manager, you guys discuss, see what you think. So that way, if there is a problem or enforcement action, we can take action. There's nothing wrong with giving warnings and educating people. Just because we have an ordinance on a books doesn't mean, we've got to be seizing everybody's e-bikes and citing them. Our officers are very good at just about talking to people and, letting them know that this is the laws, and usually that solves the problems.
Absolutely.
And it can be drafted to where you can say sidewalks, no motorized vehicle unless children under a certain age are elderly that need it for disability, so it's not just that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
you can put a lot of common sense into it.
Yeah.
Like you said, kids with training wheels.
Well, you don't see those motorized chairs going 15, 30
Yeah.
miles an hour on the sidewalk either, so.
Right.
No, exactly. That's what I'm just saying, just making it where it's not just,
That would be
just
impressive.
caveats, and it's not, no.
Actually, I
motorized
think it was about
vehicles.
6 months ago, we had a real big influx of them for some reason. I don't know why. And so the DC put together a nice little program for all of our officers, re-educated all of our officers. They took kind of an aggressive stance of educating people, stopping them. And then it kind of faded away, knock on wood. And after Christmas, we saw kind of a little bit of a resurgence because people are getting them for Christmas, kids are getting them. But again, luckily, no real issues. So our officers are up to date on the state laws. And as far as the town ordinance, I believe it's no bicycles whatsoever on sidewalks technically.
Okay.
But as council, you can pretty much put age restrictions, anything, even wheel size, I think I saw in the example ordinance, is a good one. So it's probably not a bad idea. My recommendation would be to look at it. The DC is kind of an expert on this. Since the last 6 months, he's put together a lot of things. We could come up with a couple drafts, give it to the town manager to look over, and we can discuss it.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think
He said wheel size, yeah, because those things have some thick wheels, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
promoting that walkability, keeping sidewalks safe.
It's intimidating. If you're walking on a sidewalk, the family, you see this thing cruising at you.
But not only that, you may not
It's
see them,
dangerous.
because when most people are walking and then there's.
You got headphones in or something, yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly
Listening to
right.
music or something, yeah.
And 15 miles an hour on a sidewalk is pretty quick.
That's quick.
Yes,
yeah.
That's
absolutely.
quick.
Cool.
So,
Thank you.
Sure,
Appreciate you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Next item, construction of the shrimp dock processing facility. As I mentioned, that application has been submitted. We've gotten some additional questions. They need some clarification on ownership. We provided them with the recorded deed. So that's moving forward. So as it progresses, I'll keep you up to date if there's anything, any sort of roadblocks that come up. But right now, so far, so good. Cypress Wetlands, I kind of touched on a little bit earlier, that trail work was completed. And one of the things we did as a component of that, the repair work, is we addressed some of the drainage issues working with the YMCA. If you notice, that path that's right behind the windows where the treadmills are, we did some drainage. We
Yeah, I saw those
addressed
from
some
the
drainage.
side of
the
So,
building,
we have good partners there,
really
so
good.
pretty pleased. Next is capital sales tax. Obviously, we are obligated to provide a representative to that committee. By the 15th, we'll be able to do that. You guys will formally take that up next. And whoever we provide or recommend for that position, obviously, we'll be briefing them on the town's capital improvement program. I understand it'll probably be focused really on kind of roads, intersection improvements, and obviously, we have a section that we'd like to see addressed. And obviously, some of the projects that we'd like to see addressed, they're owned on roads owned by the SCDOT, so, but there's still priorities for us. Intersection improvements, obviously, you know, the big one. But, you know, you look at Savannah Highway, Paris Island Gateway, Savannah Highway 170, Grover Hill, Paris Island Gateway. You know, that's going to become a very important intersection. So those are going to be things that are going to be highlighted and kind of, I think, priorities for the town in terms of long-term funding, whether it's in the capital sales tax program or not, if it
2%
fails
right
or passes. So that's not going to change. Airbnb, we continue to have meetings with STR operators explaining the ordinance and the outcome of the settlement with Airbnb. We've provided as much clarification as we conceivably can on how to get the report and what their obligations are, clarifying, and I've said this 1,000 times, that we do not have a formal relationship other than through a settlement with Airbnb. They are the customer of Airbnb, and so that is an issue that they need to work with Airbnb to address compliance with the ordinance. So, you know, we just need the appropriate report. We could go the route of other jurisdictions and say, you know what, you're obligated to pay us the money and provide the reports. But I don't think we're there yet. But there's a way to report they can produce a report that allows us to do some reconciliation. They just have to do it.
Okay.
And we have spent a lot of money with direct training with our lawyer, with some of these people. And I think that needs to stop, because that's very expensive for us. It's almost outstripping anything we're making from the collection versus what we're spending in legal fees. So,
Do we ask them, I don't know if you know the answer to this, when they come in for a short-term rental license, what avenue or what method they're gonna use?
no, we don't ask that question, because, you know, whether it's like through 2 or 3 different portals.
Do we-
But
do we
most of it's
start?
Airbnb and VRBO.
Do we start maybe, or are we allowed to, or is that?
I don't think we can. I don't think we can dictate which portal they use. And I think, you know, a lot of them, I mean, there's obviously the biggest players in the game, and if you want to get your unit out there, you know, you want to be on those platforms. And we have, I mean, let's just say we have 120 units. I don't think we have issues with 115 of them. So we can get those 5 to figure this out, we'll be okay.
I haven't dealt with this, but with one person.
Yeah.
And again, if I were to get a short-term rental, I would absolutely not do that.
Yeah.
And go through that portal. Just because, I mean, if you
Yeah.
have to dissect a freaking frog every time.
Yeah.
You know, to reconcile with the town, which is, they understand the ordinance, that's not what they don't understand.
Yeah.
Their lack of educational awareness is how their portal doesn't allow them to get the report that they need.
Yeah.
And then the phone numbers, fucking press 2 for English, you know, like, Jesus,
Yeah,
so.
Isn't the
awesome. Well,
state
thanks.
working on something with that too?
no. Years
Thanks, man,
ago.
appreciate it.
Yeah, they cut a deal with Airbnb, unbeknownst to us, where they basically agreed to just take a big fat check, and Airbnb didn't have to supply anything. And I had a very extensive discussion with the Department of Revenue 3 years ago about that. I didn't think that worked.
Yeah.
But the answer I received was that they view it as a tax return, and they only need to provide information if there's an audit.
Yeah, because them taking that deal essentially threw the rest of the municipalities under the bus and then essentially said, fend for yourself, right? Like, I mean, that's where we were with the lawsuit.
Well, we ended up, yeah, it was a $65 million. Think about that. They settled at $65 million, so who knows what the real value was. So,
We are putting in for a request of the audit, so we'll see what that
Yeah.
comes back.
yeah,
Okay, great.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Really quick, you just mentioned Grover Hill. When that complex is opening up? Any idea? Okay.
Not yet.
I mean, it's coming along. I drive
Yeah.
by it and see it's looking good, so I just didn't know if they had a projected
Do
online
do
date.
you guys have any insight on what their rates are gonna be up in there in that Grover Hill apartment complex?
Not off the top of our heads, no.
I was over at Point Grand the other day. Is the new one coming up next to Lowe's?
Lowe's.
They are 2-bed, 2-bath units. They're nice. They're
With
starting at
with elevators.
$1,600.
With elevators.
They got all kind of stuff. I mean, those things are amazing. And, I mean, they're talking about it's a nice place, man.
Yeah.
And they're talking about $1,600. That's starting, I was like, man, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
With elevators.
You know, yeah, it's a supply and demand issue.
Yeah.
Start, you know,
Maybe we start tackling this thing pretty hard, because that's really, that, again, to me, when I start thinking about where the market is right now and where rentals are, getting a 2-bed, 2-bath with all those amenities, as close as it is to everything, walkability of it, they're right in the perfect spot, $1,600 all day.
Yeah, because
For a young family, I mean,
Yeah.
for starter family.
on the other side, they're like 18 something, and you have to make double what the rent is to be able to rent in there, and for a 1-bedroom, it's like 18.
wow.
I thought they were all the same, but apparently
I don't care
not.
about the same, because I think that would,
18 is expensive
That would
for
be
a
good.
1. Yeah, that is good.
You said Grover Hill made me think about it.
Yeah, it's a significant development. I'm gonna go over, get to the incubator. We are officially, tenants in Jefferson Commons. And so obviously, we're trying to put together that concept plan for how to get those spaces occupied. Starting to lean on, an organization out of Savannah. Put in your folders kind of the application process for their incubator program. I think there's a lot of merit to looking at. I've reached out to them again to get the kind of some feedback on the nuts and bolts of it. What would you do differently? What could be improved? But Savannah has, I think, 27 different incubator spaces, and they put an artist in each one of those. You know, we've got an opportunity here to kick this off with 2. And I think, you know, what we probably, for me, the process should start with obviously vetting the applicants. And then I think, depending upon what their, I don't know what the proper artist term is, whether they're sculptors, painters, whatever.
Their product.
They're
know,
medium.
their discipline is.
Yeah, whatever their discipline is, you know, metal workers, you know, we'll get some welding done in there. Don't tell Stinger I said that. You know, we can accommodate what they will need in that space. I think it works well. And then one of the components of the incubator program in Savannah is the ability to exhibit work. And I think, I know we talked about what we wanted to do in that second unit, but I think we can combine some things there. You know, and Brooke and I were talking about it a little bit today, you know, beyond it being kind of the second unit being kind of where people will go to, you know, experience the food portion of the incubator process. I think we can, you know, do that, maybe create some exhibit space in there, as well as kind of a place for people to get information about what's happening in town, whether it's through some sort of big community calendar, whether it's through one of these boards,
Yeah.
TVs up on the display, just kind of rolling through what's happening. That could end up being really kind of a cool second space that's an exhibit, as well as, you know, the incubator portion of the food experience.
Kitchen.
So,
Great.
and then we can dovetail the application process for the second piece, the second unit, based upon the application process for the artist. I think we can do that.
Sounds great. Again, new year, new ideas, new things. That's kind of the theme tonight, it sounds like. So again, this is something, I don't know, like you said, we've talked about it before, we
Yeah.
got close to it before, we almost did
Yeah.
something like this, but here we are, trying to do that. So again, I know it's difficult doing something new and creating
Yeah,
from scratch.
well, it's hard for us to kind of wrap our heads around
It's
that.
when do you think, because I do think you're right, that's a great starting point, is get those applications out there and just see what comes back, you know?
I think
So when would we be
I've got
ready?
the application in Word form.
Because we could
It's
send
just
out,
some editing.
I get a press release and some social media and a click for the application and,
I think we could have that, honestly, the application could probably be out in a week or 2
okay.
and get it out.
And maybe
with the
reach
press
out to
release.
the newspapers and do some little
Yeah.
talk about it and to see what kind of interest that brings back. And like I said, I think that's a good go from there. And then, yeah, with the
Yeah.
inside of it, I love the idea of having something up that's got news that's happening in town. I think if we wanted to put some beautiful mural on the wall or anything, I think we know someone that does wraps, you know? Yeah, I mean, so thank you. Again, I know it's starting something new, but
Yeah.
it can be very frustrating and difficult, but
Yeah, well,
thank you.
we have to get out of our bureaucratic mindset sometimes, so it's all good.
You're creative.
That's right,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And then the next one, you know, we had something happen in Chathamos that we're trying to work on with some adjacent properties, and, you know, I'm gonna just throw it out there. We had an informal range next to the neighborhood, and some errant shooting with a higher powered weapon that damaged some homes. And I think the chief is working with the sheriff's department on that particular issue. I have spoken to county about that, because obviously that's unincorporated Beaufort County that's adjacent to the neighborhood. And you know, we all understand that it's completely legal to discharge weapons in the unincorporated area of the county. I just think that we need to be mindful of those properties that are adjacent to neighborhoods. And
Yeah, 'cause
there's-
that could've
the
been bad.
safety of the issue needs to be stepped up significantly.
Yeah, we've got to figure out something with that, because just so everybody knows, there was the Sunday before Christmas, somebody was in unincorporated Beaufort County up around Shadow Moss, shooting off a high-powered rifle. Somebody's house in Shadow Moss was hit 5 times, their house, with them inside of it, a guy married with kids in his house got hit 5 times. He's, you know, said that a bullet went into his living, I mean, bullets were not just hitting the house, they were going through the house. Like I said, children playing outside. I talked to one of the guys, and he was a Marine, and he said it sounded at one point, he's like, I think I counted about 25, 30 total rounds. I don't know how many actually went into Shadow Moss and hit stuff. He said he could hear them bouncing off the concrete, and this guy's over in Beaufort just firing away, not even knowing that he could be literally killing people. So it's a tricky situation, because the police, Port Royal's handled it great. The sheriffs went out there and handled it great, but it's just this, he's discharging a firearm in the county, which is not illegal. And so what is the legality of it? And that's what everybody's trying to figure out. But again, I mean, we want to be, you know, they can't be shooting rifles into neighborhoods.
Yeah. I mean, it was unintended, but it could
have been a
ended
horrific.
tragically.
Yes, it could have been really, 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 really bad.
He should know his target and what's around it. That's a cardinal rule there.
Well, I don't think it's a formal range, and so you've got kind of a homemade situation. And I think they typically were using pistols.
Probably got a new gun for Christmas or something. Want to go try out the new one?
Yeah, and so, yeah.
Wow.
Got a lot of thoughts about that. I'm just gonna keep them right in this brain housing group.
Yeah, yeah. So that was really scary. So, but again, I think, you know, I know chief's working on it, sheriffs are working on it. We've talked to the county about it as well too, and seeing what we can do going forward about some sort of, even if it's concurrent jurisdictions or something that can be done to where,
Yeah.
situations like that can be addressed.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Oh,
Okay. Anything from council?
negative, I'm good. Happy New Year to everyone.
Gentlemen over there, ladies and gentlemen. Did you want to have something?
I just wanted to ask about the VA. Have we heard anything on the VA?
No, not formally, no.
But supposedly soon.
Can I share what I heard today? I was at a meeting. So I was at a meeting with Beaufort County Veterans Council. They have a meeting with all the heads of their VA stuff. They shared that they have made congressional notification of the award, and now it's a 30-day process to wait for that.
Yeah.
So the decision's been made, where the site's gonna be. It just waits 30 days now before it gets released to the public.
Okay. I guess that's like an appeal process or something.
Yeah, my win to
challenge.
convince us didn't work.
Yeah. I had one thing. I had someone that asked me, and I think I may have mentioned this before, there are lots of people that are interested in viewing our meetings and may not be able to be here, but they don't have access to social media. I wanted to know if there's a way that we can get a link on our website or something, or some other alternative to social media so that they can watch these meetings live.
It goes to YouTube, it's on YouTube. as well.
On YouTube, so I need to, okay.
Yeah, YouTube.
So they just need to subscribe to Port Royal on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
We stream simultaneously to both Facebook and YouTube at the same
So
time.
go to Port Royal and subscribe, and then they'll be able to get it,
Yeah,
okay.
notifications,
Okay.
and email and all the fun stuff.
Okay, great.
I didn't know we were doing that. That's cool.
Good job.
Thank you.
So we get the VA.
See what I can do.
Thank you. That was easy.
Anything else from council?
Yes, sir.
So one thing is just, sorry, I keep throwing stuff on y'all, but somebody mentioned at our breakfast, and I thought it was a great idea.
A calendar.
Yeah, like somehow putting some sort of, and I know it'll change, but having some sort of yearly calendar, I think it'll be helpful for us, for businesses, for residents, that we just know this festival, we got Soft Shell Craft
Festivals and
Festival, we
events.
got street music, just having a yearly, we can kind of go from there. And I know some stuff will be added and taken off, but
Well, Van's pulling it up right now.
Oh, there it
He's
is
already
right
gotten
there.
that. He's ahead of us.
okay. So,
Yeah, I mean, you can go to the website now. Yeah,
okay.
Like soft shell crabs on there,
I assume it's on there.
street music.
We should,
April
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We just have something that kind of,
April 26th.
It's coming.
we'll add all the, we're gonna, well, if we know the definitive dates, we're gonna go ahead and put those. on
Roger
the
that, that'd be
calendar.
good.
What I can do on a monthly basis as well is go in at the 30th end of the month for the following month and then create some kind of graphic.
that would be awesome.
That can live on social as well.
That would be awesome. Like, so that just comes out the first of every month.
Ideally.
Here's the month of January.
April
That's really
26th.
great. That's a great idea.
Yeah. And I can pin it to the top of Facebook or whatever.
Great, for that month. That's great.
Good, thank you.
Cool, thank you.
All right. That's all I have.
So if I could share, I learned a couple things today at that Veterans Administration thing. The South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs Secretary was there, talking about some endeavors that they're on. And I learned from Caroline Furman's staff that they have increased our VA disability applications by 1,200%. And a lot of that was just education and awareness for it and all kind of the work that we're doing as communities together, we put together. And I wasn't aware that in just direct compensations, that's payment in our pension and our disability money, Beaufort County receives $300 million of that. It's in direct payment that comes into this community from just that kind of money. That's not.
As income to
That's not
those.
including any of the base stuff that comes through this.
Wow.
That's like, when I get my retirement paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
that's a part of that 300 million against everything else, right? She managed to raise compensation, again, in Beaufort County, heavy on north of the Broad, by $8 million this year to veterans in this area. So her team and her are doing a phenomenal job.
Wow.
So much so that I felt compelled to ask her if maybe in February they can come up and present to us kind of the work they're doing here to see how we can get ourselves attached to some of that and to make, again, create greater awareness in that in the veteran community. 'Cause if there's $8 million out there for our citizens, I'm pretty certain there's another couple million hanging out. Some of our Vietnam veterans that in '73 said, I'm out of here, are starting to come back to the VA through, again, awareness and education. So, we can help her with that in that endeavor. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was a good meeting. They have it every month, and I've asked to be included in that, just to kind of stay abreast of that. But, yeah, pretty insightful today. It was actually a great morning.
That is awesome. She does a great job. And her team over there.
She's got full staff now, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's the first thing she did when she got to work on getting a full staff. She got like 5 VSOs now, from I think there was 2 or 3 of them. So she got a full staff, an admin assistant, and herself. Yeah, they're doing really good work.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love, if they want to come talk, absolutely, see. I'd love to have them on the agenda. A lot of veterans in Port Royal, so. Yeah. Okay, anything else, council briefing for staff? All right, great job, guys. Review agenda, January 14th.
All right, let me go through it.
Yes, sir, be really quick.
All right, first, y'all are going to elect a mayor pro tem, so keep that in mind. We will have a proclamation for an honorary mayor. She will be entitled to a proportion of your salary.
I'll get some of her allowance, but, no, so really quick, let everybody know what that is. So yeah, we didn't have an election or anything like that. There is the Riverview Charter School, they have a big fundraiser every year. It's their Empty Bowls fundraiser. And one of the things that they auctioned off this year was mayor for the day. And a young 9-year-old girl and her family bid, and they won. And so she is going to be here with us on that day. I talked to her parents, and she said the one thing she wants to do is bang the gavel. So we're going to bring her up here, let her bang the gavel, give a little talk give her a few minutes on stage, and then we'll do a proclamation for her and give her a key to the city, and so she'll be the honorary mayor for the day. They, again, I thought that was great, like,
good.
like I said, 9-year-old little girl getting involved in
Yes.
you know, civics is great. I was thinking, and I'll get with Chief at Fire, I was thinking maybe about on that day, having her stop by early, and maybe we could give her a little tour of the police department, tour of one of the fire stations, just to kind of add a little bit to that.
What day is that?
The 14th.
On the 14th?
So yeah, so she will be here, her parents will be here, I'm sure we'll take some pictures with her, but yeah, so that is what the, Natalie Ketta is gonna be the honorary mayor of the day for Port Royal, so.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Other people are gonna start copying that idea.
yeah, okay.
We'll have one presentation from the police department for promotion. We still have one here, the audit presentation. That may be pushed off to February. We're still, with the changeover in finance software, caused a little bit of delay, so we haven't even seen the audit yet.
Cool.
So we may push that a month, but we'll see.
Okay.
We get the presentation, we get it in, so we like to give it to you guys a few days in advance so you have an opportunity to read it before, so you can ask some questions. You can ask the Henry Robinson question if you want. So, second readings,
What's your
2025-20, in order to amend and enter supplement Chapter 2, Article 5, Division 2, Public Records Program, Sections 2-260 and 2-261 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Port Royal, South Carolina, to repeal references to the town records management and to assign FOI responsibilities to the town clerk and police department. This is just to kind of give us a little bit of clarity, particularly to each department as to how they would handle FOIs, just cleans up the protocols and how they're handled responsibly. Obviously, we want to make sure we're monitoring those things and that they are redacted as they're supposed to be redacted, and that we are responding in a very timely fashion in compliance with the law. Anything else we want to add to that? Is that it? Good?
Yeah.
Perfect. Ordinance 2025-21.
Next 4 are sidewalks.
What's that?
So the next 4 are sidewalks.
Yeah. The 2021 is that sidewalk that we mentioned at 1008A 12th Street, 30 feet. The 22nd is the other ordinance, 2025-22, is next door, it's 30 feet. It sounds insignificant, but it's a continuation of sidewalk. And something just as an aside, because we're in the workshop, we know we did a significant amount of sidewalk last year. I think we have an opportunity through the accumulation of these ordinances to maybe kind of close out this network a little bit more. We'll discuss it at the retreat and figure out what sort of how many linear feet we can pull together for the next fiscal year, and maybe do another big tranche of sidewalks.
That'd be great, just like you said, making that walkability, connectability. Because, yeah, sometimes we talked about, you'll be on a sidewalk and then it'll end and you'll be like, all right, I guess I'll get on the road now and then I'll get back onto the sidewalk and go south.
Yeah, and just so you understand, not everybody wants a sidewalk in front of their house. So a lot of people are still pulling into their front yards, and you build the sidewalk, you've got to do reinforcement in certain areas, and, so it'll be a challenge in some spots, but, I think for the most part, the sidewalk program has been well received.
I think so.
Particularly all the construction. And also, putting it off next year gives staff a little bit of breathing room so we can get some of these other capital projects and move on for the next year. All right, first readings, 2026-1. This is also a sidewalk project located at 810 11th Street. It's 100 feet. Y'all do have a map of that particular location. And then the next is 2026-2, which is also the authorization of sidewalk, and it's at 917 8th Street. This is also 100 feet, so a little bit longer, but also in compliance with the construction program. Council action, we get 2 items. First is appointment to Beaufort County Transportation Advisory Committee. We're obligated to provide that by the 15th. We'll be in compliance. We have a candidate, I believe, is fairly qualified as an engineer. Obviously, remember the 2 things that the person couldn't be was an elected official or an employee of the town or entity. So we do have a qualified candidate which you can formally approve at the next meeting. And we will, like I mentioned, we will brief them up on our capital improvement program. The second is the approval of London Square Wetlands. In your packets was a scope of work that we are contemplating to improve that particular wetland, working with the current owner. The town would be accepting that wetland into our system. Many of you know it was a wetland that was formerly on a property owned by Vernon DeLoach. London Square is now the owner. Why we personally feel it's important to add this wetland to working with to our system, and we have an opportunity to kind of clean it up, make it more favorable or usable for wading birds. And it
It's in
really
that
is
chain of connectivity, right? Or not?
Yes,
Yeah.
well, we're addressing that, and there, right now, there's a kind of a low embankment between the two.
Yeah.
But we have to be careful how it's handled, and so we've
Right.
come up with a plan, working with the company that did the Cypress Wetlands plan from the very beginning.
Right.
Which is obviously Folk Land Management out of Green Pond. And so we've been down here working, he's willing to contribute financially to the project as well. But I just think it's important that we have ownership of that, to complete that chain of
Right,
of
right, I
wetlands.
think you're right.
Yeah. So, but we need to do that formally. Anytime we do, if we accept property, it has to be done by resolution. Obviously, we're buying something, I believe it has to be done by ordinance. So we want to make sure we're in compliance with the law and bring this to y'all properly.
That sounds good.
All right, important dates. Let's go back to, I think there's one on January 5th through the 9th is the Christmas tree drop-off at the Naval Heritage Park.
Who sponsors that? Is that the county, is that the town?
I think it's just kind of a combination. We provide a location where they
Right.
can be dropped off, and I believe the county picks them up.
Okay. I took mine by there, I just wondered.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
doing that?
So, Thursday, January 15th, HPRF third Thursday at Live Oak Park.
I think they've canceled that van. I think that's what they said this morning, that they would cancel it because it was so cold.
All right.
Check with
Monday,
Marcy
January
Day, for sure.
19th is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Our offices will be closed. Tuesday, January 20th is MASC Hometown Legislative Action Day in Columbia. And then on Monday, January 26th, Planning Commission meeting at 5:30 PM.
Great.
Any other dates we should add?
Council have any?
Negative.
Just a couple for this weekend. This Saturday is the second Saturday Sip and Stroll downtown from 10 to 2. That's an event that's put on every month by our local shops and restaurants where they have live music, entertainment, and so that's going on from, like I said, 10 to 2 on Saturday, if anybody's around to come out. And then at 2 o'clock over at Shell Ring will be they do their annual Beer Mile Run, which is always fun. Even if you don't run it, it's always fun to watch. It packs out, people dress up, they get silly for it. And it's a fundraiser for Kappa too, which is in Port Royal. So that's at 2 o'clock over at Shell Ring. And then on Sunday, at 11 at the Cypress Wetlands, there's a really, really neat event going on that if anybody can come out to. This is in coordination with the police department and the Helene, how do you say it? Helianthus Project. And I'll just read what the event is. So again, this is 11 a.m. on Sunday at the wetlands. The Helianthus Project is proud to host the first ever red sand project in the heart of our community at the Port Royal Police Department. We invite all community members to wear blue and join us at the police department as we walk together to the Cypress Wetlands, laying red sand as a powerful, visible symbol of awareness and our shared commitment to education and prevention. And the Helianthus Project, it's a nonprofit, local nonprofit that raises funds for human trafficking. So, again, first ever, a meeting of firsts. But yeah, so thank you all, Chief and your guys for teaming up with them. So again, Sip and Stroll on Saturday, 10 to 2. Shell Ring and Kappa Beer Mile over at 2 p.m. Again, like I said, even if you're not running, just come watch the show. It's pretty funny. And then Sunday at 11 at the Wetlands is the Wear Blue for Red event.
So the MASC is 20 and 21, right? Tuesday, Wednesday.
We go up on the 19th.
go up on Monday the 19th. We've got activities Tuesday and Wednesday, come back Wednesday evening.
Yeah, Tuesday's Legislative Action Day, Wednesday's classes.
Okay, okay. Okay, I just want to make sure I had that on my calendar.
Look forward to that every year, so I
Y'all know where we're going on Monday.
look forward to that every year, so.
Big Mama gonna make sure.
All right. Any other dates from council members?
No, sir.
Okay, all
Thank you.
right. Well, where are we at? Important dates, okay. We're now open for public comment. Any public comment?
Chief and chief.
Any updates from Chief and Chief? Okay.
Fire truck?
It's still getting worked on, it's not in service yet, we'll get close. We'll put something out, we'll have a display show and tell and a ceremony and get the new lighting truck up and running.
Okay.
We're close.
Is it gonna look like our new police cars?
Well, you're talking to town on the police.
Chief and Chief, while you're both in the room, I know on behalf of council, we certainly appreciate y'all's support during the holiday season and taking Santa Claus around and council around to
Yes.
spreading a lot of love and cheer to everyone in our community. So kudos to y'all. Thank you and your
Great
team for
reviews.
doing that.
Yeah.
Great review.
That
Appreciate
was,
it.
that
There's a
was
whole
great.
lot of children out there smiling.
Both of y'all's teams did really, really great.
And I
Who
did
doesn't?
get off the naughty list. I did receive Christmas gifts, so whatever, Santa.
Okay. All right, hearing no more public comments, we'll end the meeting.
Good night,
Absolutely.
everyone.
Good night, Port Royal.
Motion adjourned. Thank you so much. Have a